Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are returning, welcome back. If you are new here, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. I am doing a little bit of a different video today. We're in the kitchen, got my apron on, but we're not gonna cook. I have noticed that some people might need a little help picking out things that they really need for their kitchen. Maybe those people are moving out on their own for the first time, or going to college and getting an apartment instead of a dorm and they need to furnish it. Maybe you're getting married and you need to get a bridal registry set up. And I know it is overwhelming. It can be overwhelming. People don't really know what they need because they've never had a home of their own before and they just don't really know where to start. Yes, bridal registries, for example, will give you a list, like a guide of things that you should register for. Let me give you a little tip. Throw it away. Don't use it. Okay, some things on there are beneficial. You do not need everything on that list. That is a marketing ploy, okay, to get you or your guests or whomever it is to purchase things from their store and make their sales go up. I'm going to show you some things. Hopefully they'll help you, and it may not. I was getting married right now based on my almost 20 years of married experience in my own home. These are the things that I would put on a register. So we're gonna kind of break it up to make it make a little more sense. We're gonna go with like food prep items. We're gonna go with like making the meal items, and then like putting it on the table items. So kind of a step by step. So are you ready? Get a notebook, get paper, let's get started. Okay, the first thing on my list, let's start from the beginning. How are you gonna cook anything if you don't have a recipe for it, right? Okay, so I would highly suggest that you find one good cover all the basics cookbook and register for that if it's a bridal registry. Or I'm just gonna mainly say register bridal registry because that's gonna be more of the audience I think that watches this video, but all of these are gonna apply if you're not getting married and you're just going out on your own. This was given to me when we got married at one of my bridal showers, and it is the Crocker cookbook, and it was the bridal edition, okay? It has a lot of pictures, a lot of good information. I will try to find it and leave a link, but this is now 20 years old, so they may not make it anymore. But any good Crocker cookbook, I would recommend. I like that one. Also, was given to me at one of my bridal showers a photocopy of my grandmother's recipe book. It does not have all of her recipes in there, and it is a photocopy. It isn't her original, but it is her handwriting, and there are lots of sweet, sentimental recipes. So if you have any from your family that you want to take with you, I highly recommend something like that. And then I have a recipe book of mine, of my own. And this is a Happy Planner one. Y'all know I love the Happy Planner. And it has the different places for recipes, and it has the different tabs, and the dividers are awesome, but you can write them in there yourself. Here's my cinnamon rolls, different things. And then I make other sections for food prep or different things, you know, these kind of things. So this is not only for my recipes, it's some that I found on Pinterest that I like. It is some that somebody gave to me that I ate somewhere else, or someone cooked a meal for us and I asked them for the recipe and I wrote it down. It's just different ones. But one day this will go to one of my children, probably Bailey, or if Colson and his wife would like to have it, they can have it. So this will get passed down and this will get passed down. So those are awesome to have. Now that you have your recipe and you know what you're cooking, now what do you? All right, the next item is gonna be mixing bowls. You just need a good set of mixing bowls. And I say set because you're gonna want different sizes. This is not the only ones that I have. This is just some I pulled for an example. This set right here is glass. They are the Pioneer Woman ones. I use them all the time, okay? But my favorite one is this one. It did come from the Pampered Chef. It has the lid. So I like that it has a lid. I can mix something up in here like tuna fish or a chicken salad or something along those lines and put a lid on it and store it in the refrigerator like this. Or, you know, strawberries with sugar on them for an angel food cake or something like that. This one has been good too. So this one came from Pampered Chef. Measuring, you gotta measure your ingredients, right? This set of measuring spoons came from Walmart. They are the Silverware brand. I wanna say they were $2. I don't know. I actually have 2 sets of these because it never fails. One set is always in the dishwasher when I need them. So this one starts at 1/8 of a teaspoon and goes all the way up to 2 tablespoons. Love those spoons. Then I also have this. It came from Walmart. It is an Anchor Hawking brand, and it has measurements. Here it is tablespoons, 1 and 2 tablespoons. Here is teaspoons, and here is ounces. So I use this one a lot for when I'm making icing and I need to measure vanilla into the icing or milk into the buttercream. This is the one I use for that. This is a set of just plain old measuring cups. These seem to be the ones I gravitate to the most. They have the measurement on the handle as well as on the bottom of the cup. So I really like those. And then you can't go wrong with your good old glass Pyrex measuring cups. So I have a 1 cup, I actually have 2 of these, and I have 1 of the 2 cup size. You just can't go wrong with that. You need can opener. You can't open canned goods without a can opener. Now, they make some that are electric that sit on your countertop, but you see my counter space. I have a huge toaster oven over there, my paper towels, and then on this side, you can't really see it, but right here, I have my big thing that holds all my utensils. Plus, what if the power goes out and it's an ice storm or some other storm, like a thunderstorm, and it knocks power out? How am I supposed to open a can of fruit and give it to the kids to eat or something along those lines? Or open a can of beans or something and take it and put it on the grill in a pot and heat it up? I can't do that if all I have is an electric one. I highly recommend a handheld. This one is Good Cook brand. And I can see it. It says right here, Good Cook. It has the little locking button. It opens, you lock it shut. This one works just fine, and you can throw it in the dishwasher so it doesn't get all gunked up and gummed up like the ones that sit on the countertop do. Got to have a can opener, it's a must. And I think this one might have been maybe $5. I think it was like less than $5, I'm not sure. Get a can opener. Okay, what are you cutting your fruits, veggies, and meats on? You need a cutting board. I mean, unless you want to do it on your countertop, which is fine, you can sterilize that with some kitchen cleaner. But do you want cut marks in your countertop? No, you do not. Okay, get cutting boards. This is a pack of 3. I'm pretty sure they are the Mainstays brand. I got them at Walmart. I want to say I spent like $11, $12 for this pack of 3 different sizes, and they can go in the dishwasher, which I love because that means they get sterilized. I used to work in a restaurant as a manager. My husband is a restaurant manager now, so we have had to go through all of the kitchen procedures, health department stuff, the Serve Safe. Hey, he is actually Serve Safe certified, if you guys know what that means. So you can take the people out of the restaurant, you can't really take the restaurant training out of us. So we still, even though it's our home, we still try to abide by Serve Safe, things like that. And in a restaurant, these would be color coded. There would be like yellow would be for raw meats, green would be for produce, you know, vegetables, things like that. So if that's something you would be interested in, you can find those. I think Target has some that are color coded, I'm not sure. But yeah, I really like them because my thinking is if they're going in the dishwasher and it has a sterilized setting on it, then it's getting sterilized, you know, and they're not wood. I don't like the wood ones because bacteria can get down inside where their cuts are and you can't really get that out. That bothers me, so I stay away from the wood and I go with the ones that can go in the dishwasher. Okay. Cutting boards, what are you cutting with? You need some knives. Now, I like the bigger blade like this for chopping heads of lettuce, you know, bell peppers, things like that. And then I like this sort of a blade for bread. And then you're gonna need a veggie peeler, okay? My grandmother would tell you you do not need one, you can use a knife. I was never ever good at peeling potatoes with a knife. I would slip every single time. So if you are not comfortable or you do not have experience peeling potatoes or any other veggie with a knife, please don't attempt it. Just go get a really good veggie peeler, and this is so much faster. I can have a carrot done in like 5 seconds. It's done. I don't know what brand this is. This is probably 15 years old. I love it. It's the best one. The blade is still sharp. I don't know where it came from. Couldn't tell you. But I think OXO has a really good one, if I'm not mistaken. I know Target has some good ones. Walmart's got some good ones. Just get a good veggie peeler. Okay, I'm only gonna tell you about 2 appliances in this video, because that to me is just opening a whole nother can of worms. That is a whole video in and of itself of all the different small appliances that you could register for and that I would actually suggest that you register for. So the first one I'm going to tell you about, I love this. I use it all the time. It is a little food processor. It is made by Hamilton Beach. The lid comes off really easily, and there's just a little blade in there. That's it. Okay. The blade goes on. The lid goes on. Yeah, there we go. And then it has this little thing right here, okay? And this is your motor. It is a Hamilton Beach. Jason bought me this several years ago, I think for like anniversary or birthday or Christmas or something. Then this little thing connects into here, just sits in and it locks. You plug it in and you either do one of these and it spins the blade around. This I use for chopping an onion, mostly. This is the best thing. My eyes give me so much trouble. In fact, they're giving me a lot of trouble today with that window open right there. So when I cut an onion, it's painful. But I've learned if I can like quarter the onion and throw it in here really quickly, then I can just pulse it like 3 times and the whole onion is completely minced up however fine I want it, and I don't have to have weepy eyes. So there's this, the food processor part, or there's a whisk. Now you have like a little electric whisk. Or, this is why he bought it for me in the first place, because I wanted an immersion blender. There is an immersion blender thing, which is awesome for soups, especially potato soup, or if I'm doing the marinara, my homemade marinara, I put this in it, and from chunky marinara to a smooth pizza sauce. So this, I think it's like $30. Highly recommend. I will try to put a link to it in the description below. I would recommend starting off with that small food processor if you're wanting a food processor, and that for an immersion blender if you're wanting an immersion blender, and then go from there. Later down the line, you can always get the bigger KitchenAid food processor. I have that also. He did buy me that. I honestly don't use that nearly as much as I use that small one. And I don't have a big fancy KitchenAid or any other kind of fancy brand immersion blender. I use that one. It works great. I have no issues out of it. So it takes up less space. It was not as expensive. It's perfect for someone who's starting out. The next appliance that I'm gonna recommend that you register for is a crock pot. And not just one crock pot, but 2 different ones. Now they make all kinds of crock pots with all different features and settings that are so cool and so fancy and several different sizes. I would say pick the quart size one, whether it's a 4-quart or a 2-quart or a 6-quart or whatever that you think is what you need for your home. Whether if you entertain a lot, if it's just 2 of you living there, if it's just you and like 3 roommates that live with you, what size crock pot best is gonna fit you, or what space do you have to store one in? This is the one I have. This is my regular size one, and it has the different settings, and it's just high or low, the different ones. It has a lid that does lock, so that makes it nice if I'm gonna carry it somewhere. Okay, but other than that, that's all it does. I do use it a lot in the summer so that I don't have to heat the house up with the stove. And then there's also this one. This little small one is amazing. I just used it last night. It's great for like supper. I'm probably gonna use it tonight again. All you have to do is put butter beans or green beans or corn or what have you in butter, seasonings, whatever, stick it over there, plug it in and let it go. And part of your supper is done, but you don't have to heat the stove up all day long. So it does not lock. This lid does not lock. It's just the old-fashioned kind. It's little bitty. Or it's also great if you're doing like a baby shower, a bridal shower, or like my whole family comes for Christmas, like little smokies, what have you. Stick that in there. And usually that's what we do at Christmas. We have like little smokies in here, and we have Rotel or something in the big one. And then I'm not heating this whole house up with stuff all over the stove. So I highly recommend a couple of different size crock pots. What about these things? I highly recommend some mason jars of different sizes. I primarily use them for storage. Like this is my taco seasoning that I mix up myself, and I keep it up there in the cabinet. And then I also keep big quart size, and I've labeled them for all my spices. See, like this is my basil, cinnamon, because it's easy to, remember that those measuring spoons have the big 2 tablespoons. It's easy to open these up and fit that measuring spoon down in there instead of those little tiny spices, and you have to like try to fill up the measuring spoon, and then you overflow it and it's all over the place. Well, just get some mason jars. You can keep stuff in them like this, or they're great to put in the refrigerator. You can put leftovers in them, like leftover soups, or you could do a salad in a jar to take to work as your lunch and prep it up the night before. You can do oatmeal in the jar to prep overnight oats in the refrigerator. There's a ton of different things you can do with these jars, and they're inexpensive. Stick some jars on your registry. Trust me. Also, for ingredient storage, I recommend this. Also, for ingredient storage, I recommend this. Especially if you're gonna do bulk, like if you're gonna do shopping like I do at Sam's and you get your flour, sugar, all those kinds of things in bulk. This container came from Walmart, okay? It's huge. I don't even know how much it holds. I just put some labels on it. This is my flour. It opens, and then it has this for a lid, so you can either pour it. I don't. It comes open like this, and this lifts out, and I keep my measuring spoon in there for my scoop, and that's how it goes. So I have this one for flour, and I have this same exact size one for sugar, and then I have a third one of these that is rice. Then I have the smaller size that also came from Walmart. Now this one, I think they call it a cereal one, but it's really bigger than what a box of cereal. This could probably, just a regular size box of cereal, this could probably hold 3 boxes of cereal. It's big. This is what I keep the oats in that I get at Sam's in the big box that has the 2 bags for in each box. This is 1 bag of oats. I just emptied it last night into here. So this is one of those bags of oats from Sam's in this container. The whole lid comes off, and then this one also opens like this. And I keep my measuring cup for the oatmeal for the kids. You can buy in bulk, but you don't have like a big paper bag of flour that's rolled down that bugs can get into, or dust, or an animal, or whatever. Rodents, ants, whatever. They're all sealed up, and it keeps it fresher and no mess. Next up, pretty self-explanatory, you need a colander. This one is metal. I've had it for I don't even know how long. I'm not sure if it was a wedding gift or if I bought it. I don't know. You just need a colander or a strainer of some kind. You can't boil pasta or potatoes or rinse out salad that you've chopped up without a colander. Get a colander. I promise you, you need it. All right, you've prepped everything. You've got your cookbook. You've got all your ingredients. You've got everything chopped and everything, right? Now what? You gotta cook your food. So what are you gonna cook it in? You need a set of cookware. So this one, this isn't the whole set. The smallest one I think is in the dishwasher. Jason bought me this set. It was right before Colson was born, and he's now 10 this week. So this set is 10 years old. This is a Dishtowels set. I don't think it came with skillets. I think it's just the 4 pots, and they each have a lid. So it came with a little bitty one that's like this one. This is what I brew tea in. That one gets used every day. And the next size up is this one. They each one has a lid, okay? Then there's this one. It has a lid too. And then there's the pot, the big pot. Now you can see how much I use it. I use it all the time, all of them. I've loved them. They have held up really well. Like I said, these are 10 years old. They are a staple. Get them. What I will say is, do not get a stainless steel skillet. Just don't. They're horrible. Maybe there's someone out there who knows the trick. I have tried all the non-stick sprays. Stuff sticks every single time. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I just stay away from the stainless steel skillets. Instead, my very favorite skillet is this one. My sister-in-law got this for me for my birthday a year and a half ago because it is a Ray Dunn. Look, see? It's so cute. I saw it, I loved it. It is a Ray Dunn. Okay, and you can see how much I use it. It's been almost 2 years that I've had this. I use it all the time. It cooks evenly and it cleans up like a dream. It is the best nonstick skillet I have ever had. And since she gave it to me, I have looked and looked and looked for little pots and more skillets of different sizes, and I haven't run across any just yet. So if you are in a Marshall's or a TJ Maxx or a Home Goods and you see a Ray Dunn skillet, pot, whatever, get it. Now, you've got your cookware. What are you gonna cook with? You have to use utensils. You can't use your hands. It's a little hot. Some spatulas. And I would definitely get several different kinds. You need a metal one, okay? Jason typically uses this one out on the grill. He prefers this when he is grilling. This one, I believe, came with my set that he bought me. It did. This and this spoon came with that T-fowl set as part of it. So this is a nice big spoon you can use for stirring things or serving. And then this spatula is also good. So, and they can be used in those pots. However, you cannot use metal on a non-stick skillet like that one. You have to use something that is silicone or plastic in those. So I like these little spatulas. This one I think came with a little kid's baking set that somebody gave Bailey or Colson, and I use it constantly. So I highly recommend a silicone spatula that is about this size. Love it. And then the silicone spatula about this size. So you need spatulas. You also need whisks. Now, I do recommend the different sizes and a metal and a silicone. This one definitely came with a little kid's baking set, and I took it from Bailey. And this is like my favorite little whisk, and I need a new one because the silicone stuff is starting to come off. Definitely get some whisks. And then you're gonna need a spaghetti fork if you plan to do any kind of spaghetti, pasta, whatever. Just, you need it. And tongs of different sizes. I like this set. It came in a set of 3 different sizes. This is the biggest one, and he uses that out on the grill. This is the smallest one, and then there is an in-between one I think is in the dishwasher. These are great. I don't know what brand they are, but it has the little thing in. You pull it out, it locks. Push it in and it opens. So I love it. I don't typically use this one, he does. This is my go-to, and you can see like the little thing is all broken off because I use it so much. It goes in the dishwasher. And the only other utensil that I would highly recommend you get is a potato masher. Potatoes are cheap. If you are on your own or if you're just starting out, just married, mashed potatoes will get you a long way. Potatoes are cheap. Peel them, boil them, drain them, mash them with some butter and some milk if you don't have heavy cream, and hey, you got some filling food for dinner. Potato masher. Also along those lines, would highly recommend you register for something like this to put all of your utensils in, because where else are you going to put them? Putting them in a drawer is not a good idea. Trust me, the drawer gets stuck, it won't open, it's super frustrating. It's so much easier to have these, stick them in here, and right here when you need them. Another thing I suggest is a good sheet pan, like a cookie sheet. This one is really sturdy, it's not flimsy. It is a Wilton, I'm pretty sure. I bought this as a set. It had this cookie sheet and the same size muffin tin, so it was 24 cup muffin tin. And I bought it at Walmart. I think it was on clearance for $5. So I bought 2 of them. So for 10 bucks, I got 2 of these cookie sheets and 2 24 count muffin tins. These are great. Not only can you make cookies on them, but you could do a sheet cake, you know, a whole sheet cake like this. It's not very thick, but it will do a sheet cake. And then you can also do sheet pan dinners, you know, chicken, veggies, roasted in the oven, all kinds of things. And if you will line it with parchment paper first, the cleanup is a lot easier. Definitely get a good, heavy, decent sheet pan. And another thing I highly recommend is some bakeware, whether it's glass, like this is a Pyrex. I have the 9x13. I also have some of the 2-quart casseroles that are oval. They also have a lid like this. I like the ones that have a lid because if it's like us, and I have a whole casserole and we say we eat half of it for dinner, all I have to do is put the lid on it and put it in the refrigerator, and I don't have to find a container to put the leftovers in. This is the container. Or if I'm taking it somewhere like to a potluck or a meal at church or something like that, all I have to do is put the lid on it and it's great, instead of trying to fool with foil. So I would suggest a 9x13 of one of these, as well as like a 2-quart of one of these. I would also suggest for bakeware, like cake pans of a couple of different sizes. Sorry, Jason's taking Willow outside. The door is squeaky. And then maybe muffin cups or, you know, cupcake cups, things like that. You definitely need some of those. So register for all of the bakeware. Now, we've got everything cooked, baked, prepped, all that stuff. Let's talk about the table. You have to serve it on something. You need a good set of dishes. So pick out a set of dishes. And I would, if you're registering, I would register for like a service of 8. That would be a good place to start. You can always add to it later and make it a service of 12 if you know that you're gonna have a lot of company, you're gonna be doing a lot of entertaining. The dishes that I currently have are the Pioneer Woman. When did you buy these for me? They were for Christmas 8 years ago, maybe, something like that. So I have this set in the salad bowls or cereal bowls, and the salad plates and the dinner plates. And then I also have a set of these in the dinner plates like this salad plate and the cereal bowls, so that I can kind of mix and match. But just get a set of dishes that are gonna last. They don't have to be expensive, something that you like that goes with your kitchen and that will last you for a little while. You also need silverware. You need to register for silverware. You need to get a set that has a table knife, a tablespoon, a teaspoon, these are different, and then a regular spoon. This is the same spoon size, but the handles are different. Let me show you this. So you have a tablespoon, and then the teaspoon, but then this is an iced teaspoon. Why? Because the handle is way longer, so it can reach down in the glass to stir your iced tea. So those, and then you have the table knife, and you have dinner fork and salad fork, okay? So get a set of silverware, get a set of dishes, get a set of steak knives, and you're gonna need some serveware for when you're serving your dinner. So you're gonna need a meat fork, a slotted spoon for like green beans, corn, butter beans, things like that. You're going to need a not slotted spoon, mashed potatoes, and then you're gonna need a little ladle for gravies and that sort of sauces, marinara, spaghetti sauce, that kind of thing. Get a ladle as well to serve. All right, and last but not least, we're gonna talk linens. You've got to have some linens in your kitchen. So first let's talk dishes, okay? You need a dish draining mat of some sort. And you may say, but I have a dishwasher. Great. But let me tell you, you're gonna need a dish draining mat. I have one over there, and I have this one I have 2, so I switched them out. There's gonna be things that you cannot put in the dishwasher. For example, that skillet over there, that Raydon skillet, I cannot put it in the dishwasher. I have to hand wash it. There is gonna be things that are too big and won't fit in the dishwasher that you need to hand wash. And then there's just gonna be times where the dishwasher is completely full and the sink is full of dishes and you need to hand wash some dishes. Get a dish draining mat, okay? Same with dish rags, I guess, whatever you wanna call them. I don't use these to wash my dishes with. I use a sponge or a brush, what have you, but I do use these for cleaning my stainless steel, the stainless steel cleaner for the refrigerator, the stove, and the dishwasher. You have to use a clean, soft cloth to buff it off. That's what I use these for. So I only have like 2 or 3. But if you don't have a dishwasher and you have to wash your dishes by hand, then you might want to rather use those. So it doesn't hurt to grab like a pack of 3 or something like that. As far as also washing your dishes, get some good dish towels. Good ones, invest in them. These right here came from Walmart and they are the Better Homes and Gardens brand. They are thick, they hold up, they don't rip easily, they absorb really well. I really like them. I'll try to find them and put a link in the description. I got one of these. This is a Ray Dunn that my brother-in-law got me for my birthday. And then I also suggest not only the thick ones, but a thin one, like a tea towel. Get some of those because you might use them, you never know. I typically use these for when I need to let dough rise and I have to cover it with a clean towel. I don't use those thick ones for that. I use one of these. Get some good dish towels. Oh, and an apron. If you're like me and you don't have a whole lot of clothes and you want to save the clothes that you do have and not get them stained with grease splatters or tomato splatters or what have you, highly recommend a couple of aprons. Grab an apron. Okay, now let's talk about the table. Some people like tablecloths, some people don't. I typically go back and forth. I will set the table with some placemats. This set came from the Dollar Tree back last summer. They don't have to be expensive. They just have to be pretty and actually get the job done. This set, I think, is a Pioneer Woman. I'm not sure. One side is checked, the other side is just red. They're thick. They absorb, so if somebody spills their tea or drips marinara or something, it's fine. And then this one, my brother-in-law got me. It is a Ray Dunn. Shocker, I love Ray Dunn. But they're pretty, they're minimal, white. I don't put these out on the days we have spaghetti though. So I get placemats and then I also like tablecloths also. So sometimes it's just nice to just throw a tablecloth on the table and then be able to just pull it off the table and throw it in the washing machine. And then here lately, I have started in with cloth napkins. Now this is not something you have to have, but it's nice to have. And like I said, if you don't have one of those tea towels, you can always use a cloth napkin to cover a bowl to let something rise. But we're gonna start collecting some of these and see how that goes. See if I can cut down on the amount of paper napkins that we use. But also, if you're just starting out, like if you're just getting married and you want to entertain and have some guests over for dinner, you might like to have a nice set of cloth napkins and some nice dishes and some nice placemats or what have you, and have a nice little table setting, and cook a meal and entertain your guests. So that's all I've got for this video. I hope this helps you. I hope it gives you some ideas, some things to look for. These are things that I use all the time. If you're getting married and you are setting up a registry, congratulations. That is exciting and I wish you all the best. If you are just starting out on your own, moving out of your mom and dad's house, congratulations. That's a big deal, becoming an adult and being self-sufficient. And I hope that some of these things help you in deciding what you may or may not need for your kitchen. And I hope you enjoy this and come back and see us another time, and happy cooking.